Roses is starting right now on KDWB.
Couple of reasons for this husband to be suspicious. And I want to ask you, when you hear this situation, how would you feel if you were this guy and your wife is openly seeing someone that she dated in college? You'll hear the whole story.
Okay.
I want to know how you would feel. Mitch, thanks for being on KWB. Thanks for trusting us with your relationship and all the things that are going on. Tell me what's going on with you and your wife, Camille. Why are you on KWB this morning?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So the situation is that for the past little while, my wife, Camille, has been on this planning committee for the summer festival.
One of the local, Raspberry Festival, Lumberjack Days, Cottage Grove.
I won't get into the details about that because that's not important. But
okay. Plus, we don't want to give away who is the concern with the. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, go ahead.
Exactly. And she's talking to me about how the plannings have been going, and they meet up at Caribou. She's talking to me about this guy that she is on the planning committee with, and she actually knows him because they went to college together. And she proceeds to tell me that she also used to hook up with this guy. And at first I was like, that's a little weird, but didn't, think much of it. That's fine. They were in a relationship, whatever.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago. Right. And then she proceeds to tell me that this is actually the guy that she, I don't know if I can say this on the air. This was the guy that when she was in college gave her first, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I know exactly what you're saying. Gave her her first. We know. Okay, we get what you're saying. So that kind of ups the game a little bit. That this guy was a little more than just some guy, but he was. She has a special memory of this guy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that happened, and I'm like, whatever. Okay, fine. She had a previous relationship with this guy. It didn't make me feel great, but it's in the past.
Okay.
But then a couple days ago, we're at Target, right? And I was looking in the greeting card aisle, and I was looking for a card for my dad for his birthday. And she's in pharmaceuticals. And I get the card, and I go back over, and there's this guy standing next to her. And as I come up, he kind of jumps back away from her because they were staying real close to each other, like they were having a real private conversation.
Okay.
And he, moves away from her and introduces me, and I was like, "Yep, I know who you are." Yeah, not trying to mark my territory or anything, but just it felt really, really weird, and we had to talk about it later. She swears there's nothing happening, but I don't know. It just feels like a bunch of really weird situations in a row, and it's making me feel real weird.
I don't blame you. Just the fact, I would find it odd, if my wife Susan was on a planning committee and there was a guy that she had known in college. And college for her was a ridiculously long time ago, but you're probably you're in your 20s, 30s? How old are you?
Yeah, early 30s.
Okay. So college was 15-ish years ago.
Yeah. Exactly.
So the probably they probably still look almost the same, and it would not be inconceivable for them to be attracted to each other again.
Right.
What set me off was when he acted suspicious when you came around the corner in the card aisle over at Target, and then it's kind of like if you're making out with your partner when you're a kid and their parents walk in the room and you pull your hands back really fast. That's kind of what I got.
Right. Why? If you're not doing anything wrong, then why do you feel the need to step back away from somebody quickly like that? That's weird to me.
Yeah, I don't think that means that anything's going on, but I understand. It would make me insecure. I would not want Jake hanging out with that woman anymore. Probably because I would be it would be more of I trust my husband, but I don't why is she trying to lean in so close? Why is she I'd be and then I would start creating a character, and I'd be at home, and I'd be tormenting him, oh, what's Janine doing? Oh. It would drive me nuts. Yeah, I wouldn't be a fan.
And then you would say something why don't you just go, have sex with Janine? You know what? I get an idea. If you're bored, why don't you just go make love to Janine? I can hear you doing this. You are absolutely the taunting kind of a person.
Yeah.
Poor Jake would have he ran into somebody down at Target.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Janine from high school. Yeah, I actually used to date her. Oh, Really? Do you want to have kids with her?
Yeah.
Why don't you go get her
leave
pregnant?
this family then and abandon us? That's fine.
You're the worst.
Huh?
Okay, I don't mean to laugh at your expense, but this is what I'm going to tell you. I think, because I think sometimes we predict whether there's going to be something going on. I don't see anything. I don't see anything going on. I think when we spring the trap on Camille and we say, okay, Camille, this is your credit card company calling, and if you take this survey, we're going to send you and a partner of your choice on a couple's outing. What are the outings going to be? Usually we do like
horseback
axe throwing, horseback riding
this time. Yeah, horseback riding, putt-putt.
I would say golf simulator. Putt-putt is fine, whatever you want to do.
And a latte art class.
Okay. Okay, fine. You do whatever you want.
Oh, no.
So then she's going to pick you. She won't pick this guy from the summer festival, but I've been wrong before. And we sometimes get blindsided with something we totally did not expect on War of the Roses. I'm going to make a prediction. She's going to pick you. She's not up to anything. I think I just get a thing like she was in Target. Maybe he's got a little bit of a crush on her. I don't think she's got anything going on. But then again, she did get her first enjoyment from him. So, wow.
There could still be that electricity between them.
Yep. Stand by.
Yeah.
In a second, Mitch, we're going to call. Alan's going to give her the whole trap to set the trap. We'll see what she says. We'll talk to her afterward, get the whatever happens. And then after that, we'll talk to Jonathan Fogel. So when you get a divorce, you will have a divorce attorney already on your side.
Kidding.
That's a joke. He is a family law attorney, but he'll give his take on everything.
Are they cheating? Let's find out. Part 2 of War of the Roses starts right now on KDWB.
So let me kind of fill you in case you missed or forgot. A guy named Mitch is married, and his wife is on a planning committee for one of these summer festivals in Minnesota. You know, like I'm not going to even suggest examples because somebody's going to say, oh, Lord, it's this. No. So it's one of your summer festivals in Minnesota. There are dozens of them. And, guess what? Also on the planning committee is a guy that she went to college with that she used to date back in college. And also he gave her first Shangri-La, her first, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like when Fallon sat on the Operation game the other day.
Yeah.
And she kept buzzing the Operation game.
Yep.
And
That
we
felt
said, get
great.
off the Operation game.
But I couldn't.
But she
I refused.
couldn't.
And I refused.
Exactly. So anyway, now she's with him a lot, and he's like a little worried about that because, you know, nobody would really like that. But then they were at Target the other day, and I guess he was like down the aisle somewhere, and she was standing over here, and he walks around the corner, and there's the guy from the planning committee standing a little bit too close to his wife. And body language says a lot. You can kind of tell that somebody likes somebody just by watching them. It's like watching the way their eyes work and the way they smile, whatever. He comes around the corner, body language is going off, and it's like there's a little something going on. The guy then jumps away from the wife like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. There's nothing going on. I'm not sleeping with your wife.
Very chill.
So now he's really worried. So that's the story. We're going to call and see if we can set a trap. Now, remember, she should say Mitch for the couples outing. And then after that, we'll talk to Jonathan Fogel from Fogel Family Law to hear his stories about this. And let's get started with the phone call right now on KDWB.
Camille, thank you so much for your time today. I hope that didn't interrupt your day too much. We're going to set you up with a really fun outing with a friend or a partner. And I think that you'll like these classes. You get to choose from one of 3. We have a date night for a little putt-putt, or you can do horseback riding. That one's like a new one we're offering for the summer. And then this is brand new. I want to try this myself. It's a latte art class. So, you know, when you get lattes and it has little art on the top, they show you how to make those. So do any of those sound fun or like something you'd want to try?
Oh, yeah. I'd love to do the horseback riding, yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then you get to pick someone to go with you on this outing. So who would you like to bring with you?
I would like to bring my husband, Mitch.
Okay.
Mitch.
Okay, perfect.
I told you.
Yeah.
Let me just gloat for a little. But you kind of knew, too. Didn't you think that it was going to go well?
Yeah.
I want to puzzle her for a little bit because I think it's kind of interesting when Camille or the person on War of the Roses is like, what the hell's going on?
Who's this guy on the phone?
Yeah, Camille, everything's good in the world. Almost. There might be a little something, but let me explain what's going on. This is the Dave Ryan Show over on KDWB Radio, and maybe you've heard of a bit that we do called War of the Roses. Guess what? You were this week's victim, but it turned out good. Yeah. So
It turned out good?
no, well, sometimes when people are like, you picked your husband to go on this event, but the reason your husband wanted to test you, Mitch is on the phone right now, is he's jealous of that unnamed guy on the planning committee that you dated in high school. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
No. Oh, my gosh. Mitch, are you there?
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know. It was so weird. It just felt like that. When we saw him at Target, I just got really, really bad vibes off of him. I don't know. It just put me off. I'm sorry.
Oh, my. I can't believe. Oh, my God. You called the radio for this? Oh, my. I mean, it's because I told you about, when he and I were, intimate back in.
Yeah.
That's such ancient history, though. There's nothing going on between us.
Well, he was
There's
worried.
nothing going on.
I mean, we were listening to Mitch tell the story about how you were in Target, and then he walks around the corner, and there's Mr. Festival looking all flirty, giving you all the bedroom eyes and giggling at your jokes like a little high school couple in love. Mitch walks around the corner. This guy jumped back about 30 feet like he was busted. Now, I am exaggerating a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, I can only imagine what that might look like from afar, but I assure you there's nothing going on between us. We're just, we're on the festival committee together, and I mean, I don't know what I'd have to do to make you believe that, but I mean, I can quit I would resign from the committee if it would make you feel better about it. But I mean, there's really nothing going on. I hadn't even seen him in years. I mean, it felt like an entire lifetime ago.
I don't know. I guess that might make me feel a little bit better. It just, I don't know, the fact that y'all hooked up a bunch and then, I feel like he has feelings for you. That's where I'm at.
And you could be onto something there because some guy, you're married, you're happy, you picked your husband to go horseback riding. But there are some guys who they're still back in college and they see a little opportunity and they're probably going to try to take it. And some guys don't care.
Yeah.
So, but you're offering to resign from this festival planning thing if it'll make Mitch feel better.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want to ruin my marriage over it, and we've done quite a bit of the planning already. So, I mean, if it would make Mitch feel better, I would.
How do you feel about that, Mitch? I would feel a little bit bad.
Yeah.
I'd feel a little bit bad. I would feel like I don't know if I want my insecurities to make a life decision for you like that. How do you feel, Mitch?
I don't want to get in the way of you in the festival. I know that you have a good time working on it. I don't know. I just feel like I went too far. I don't know. I feel bad.
Well, I do think calling the radio is a little much, but I mean, I'm happy that you said something at all instead of just letting it go on and it eating away at you.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you think?
At home, I don't know.
What would you do? How would you feel if your partner was on a planning committee? Would you be like, you know what? I don't like that. I think that, Susan would be pretty open-minded. She'd be like, okay, who is this? But she wouldn't like it. If she was on a planning committee with, like, I don't know, who was the guy that she dated? Alan?
I don't know. I wasn't here then.
That was like the old, yeah, that was the one. That's her one that got away.
Oh.
Susan's one that got away is
Did
Alan.
she tell you that?
No, but I can just tell.
Oh.
I can read between the lines. So, yeah, my wife has a one that got away, and then she settled for me. So how would you feel? I'd be curious to know what you think if your partner was on a planning committee with somebody that they used to hook up with, even though it was like 10 years ago, back in college, but she remembers him well. She brought up the fact that he gave her first pleasure, and then he was standing a little bit too close to her in Target. Do you think that she is wrong, or do you think that she's like backing away from this committee to accommodate his insecurity? Who do you think is right? I think that's an interesting discussion.
I think I feel like she gave him like the feeling of trust. I don't know. For me, I feel like he should let her do the committee Because I know some people said there were texts, she knew what this was. She was ready. But I don't know. I thought she seemed accommodating.
This person says 250% sounds like it's the other guy trying to move in, not her. And I totally get that. But do you want your partner around somebody who's trying to hit on them all the time? Let's find out what Jonathan Fogel thinks from Fogel Family Law. First of all, I'm not going to get personal, Jonathan, but let's say that how would you feel? I would be a little insecure. I think we all would be a little bit insecure, but that's where the trust thing comes in. You either trust them to not sneak out in the parking lot after the meeting or you don't. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you guys?
I'm doing okay. You heard War of the Roses this morning. What did you gather from this one anyway?
Yeah, so first of all, I just want to say I'm glad that neither of them will be calling me for a divorce, right? I mean, a lot of people think as a divorce lawyer, look, they think, oh, Jonathan, you must be pro-divorce, right? Because then everybody can come and, hire you. Here's how I feel. I don't think everyone should get divorced, but if you do, then you need an attorney. I don't think it should be on everyone's bucket list, right? It's not one of those things, right?
I want to go to Iceland and I want to get a divorce.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a bucket list item, but it's not a horrible thing sometimes. But what I took from this, I do actually have a birthday card story that related to this. Now, this didn't happen to me, but there's a case where a husband sent a birthday card to his wife, right? But it included another woman's name on the card. Well, apparently, though, the husband had ordered the card for his wife and forgot to change the automated box online. You can order these things online. He forgot to change it, which should have been personalized. So it came to her, and it had the wrong woman's name on it. Now, I think if that came to me or someone, I would be a little bit suspicious. Apparently, though, that they posted this all over social media. They realized it was a mistake, and they all got a good laugh out of it. As far as I know, they're still happily married. But I would just caution anybody, if you're filling out those cards online, just make sure that you check that box.
What a boneheaded thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get a lot of sympathy for him, but still, what a boneheaded thing to do. That's funny. Okay, cool. So what else can we learn from this thing, you being a family attorney? Is there any lessons we can walk away with?
Well, here's the thing. I always like to give some tips for people. And as lately, there's been a lot of people calling me that have kind of had the same questions and the same concerns, which is they have some unrealistic ideas of what they may get out of the divorce. For example, I've had clients call, a father who called me, he wants 50% parenting time, but he has a job which requires him to travel 3 weeks of the month, right? So he can't do it. Or a wife who wants to have permanent spousal maintenance, but she's 30 years old, has a master's degree, fully capable of working, but still wants to be taken care of for the rest of her life. People come with these unrealistic expectations because they watch too much TV or movies or have friends that have been through a divorce. Mm-hmm. And I always tell people, look, my job as a lawyer, I'm bound to be a zealous advocate for what my clients need. It's also really important for a lawyer to be realistic and set realistic expectations for their clients. And that's especially true with how fast or how slow the process can take. A lot of times people will call like, hey, I want to file tomorrow and I want my husband to be moved out of the house by the end of the week. Right?
That's acting on emotions very quickly then, yes.
Yeah, right. As you can imagine, those conversations are hard to have with clients to tell them, look, that doesn't work that way. The courts don't move that fast. That's not a realistic expectation to have. And these timelines are really important. So if you're going to hire a family law attorney and you're going to make sure you hire an attorney that's going to be able to sit down with you and give you that roadmap and lay that out for you and really tell you honestly how quickly or how slowly the process is going to take. What I always think about is, look, I've handled thousands of divorces over my career, but the person that's sitting across from me, this may be the first and the last time they've ever done this. And so putting that map together for them and helping them through that is so important.
Just off the top of your head, let's say that there's a couple listening right now and they want to get a divorce and it's going to be amicable. It's like, we got married. It's not working out. We're bored with each other. We don't really whatever. We have no kids. We've got our own jobs, whatever. What is the fastest that, what could they expect? Like no contesting. There's no maintenance. They just want to be done.
Yeah, something like that. If they come in and they already have all the I's dotted and T's crossed. They know what they want. We can put together what's called a joint stipulated judgment and decree, a divorce decree, which has all those things listed out. They sign that. We submit it to the judge. The thing that takes the longest isn't us drafting it. It's how quickly the judge will be able to sign it.
Okay.
And so those are the things that are outside of my control. But, something like that could take 4 to 6 weeks to be done.
Does a judge have,
Quick.
You know how people will set aside, okay, every Tuesday I'm going to respond to emails. Does a judge sit down on Tuesdays and Thursdays and just sign a stack of divorces? I mean, I'm so curious. Or is it just built in every single day and breaks between cases?
Yeah, I think each judge does it differently. So I used to clerk for a judge when I first started practicing, and the judge that I clerked for had a specific day of the week for signing documents.
This is what, okay.
And they put that aside because the rest of the week they had to be on the bench hearing cases.
Did the judge actually read these things? I'd be so bored if I was a judge and be like, tell me where to sign. I got to stamp, boom, boom, boom. But they have to actually read them.
Steve, you're not going to trick me into saying something that can be recorded.
You're right.
About
Okay,
judges.
you're smart.
I love all judges. They all do wonderful jobs. There we go.
All right. You know what? You're smart. That's why you're an attorney. That's why you passed the bar. Thank you, Jonathan, for being on. Get a hold of Jonathan anytime if you want to get a divorce or if you're having trouble. If you're post-divorce and you're having trouble with anything from maintenance, support, visitation, custody, anything that concerns you, Jonathan's got help. He can help you with pretty much any situation with family law. That's why it's called Fogel Family Law, Fogel, Fogel Family Law. Free consultation on the phone. Jonathan will talk to you for 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever it takes to find out whether there's something they can do to help you out. And there probably is. FogelFamilyLaw.com. Jonathan, have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week, okay?
Yeah, thank you guys so much.